Hey guys, so recently on the GearNet forum there was a discussion about the Boss GX100 and how it doesn't necessarily represent third-party cabinet responses accurately. So I've run a little bit of an experiment here where I'm utilizing a third-party Marshall JT45 cabinet response. Now this one's from Amalgam Captures and it's the JT45 2017, and I am using the 1968 G12M25 Pulsomic Bright. Okay, so what I've done is I recorded a loop into my Boss GX100 and I applied that cabinet impulse response to the amp block. So this first track you hear is the capture straight into my door directly from the Boss GX100. So I'll just play that back for you now. So there you go. Now, I don't necessarily think that sounds bad. So the problem lies with the fact that it doesn't sound accurate. Now, what that means is if you were to utilize that same cabinet impulse response across multiple IR loaders, then it will sound different from the Boss GX100 to another unit. So what I did was utilizing the same loop that I recorded into the Boss GX100, I recorded the raw loop and duplicated it 4 times within my door. So I'll just give you a quick listen to what that sounds like without any cabinet response on it. So I won't play too much of that because it sounds pretty horrible. But what I ended up doing was basically duplicating the track 4 times, and then what I've done is used a different impulse response loader for each one of the tracks. So this first one uses the Guitar Rig 5 reflector. So if I just open that, you can see that basically, here we go. All I've got in the rack here is the reflector plug-in, and I'm running it completely wet, so all you're hearing is the impulse response signal, and this is what it sounds like. So moving on, I then used a Neural DSP Nolly. And again, by turning off the amp block, making sure that none of the effects are engaged, turning off the EQ, making sure there's no pre-effects on, turning off the second side of the impulse response loader and just utilizing the mono block by itself. And this is what we get. And then moving on, I've got the Neural DSP Tim Henson, and same process, basically turning off the amp block, making sure there's no pre-effects, post-effects, EQ or anything, just utilizing the cabinet response and just running a mono instance of the actual cabinet. This is what we have. And actually, if we toggle between the two of those, you'll see that, and understandably so, they actually sound pretty much identical. There's almost no discernible difference between those two tracks. And lastly, I have the STL Tones NAD IR loader, which is a freely available IR loader that you can get. Comes with the Emissary amp plug-in. It's a good little free plug-in with amps and cabinets built in. But anyway, basically what I've done here is I've loaded the G12M25 impulse response into it. I've got the right hand side down, so I've soloed the left, so all you're hearing is just the cab sim directly. So this is what it sounds like. And there you go. So you can see that the samples or the wave files are identical, okay? It's just purely the way that they're playing back from the impulse responses where the difference is. Now, there is a little bit of difference between the impulse response loaders. So for instance, if I play the guitar rig version and I toggle between that and the NAD IR, you can hear that there is a little bit of a difference between the two. So there's a fair bit of difference there for me. Now I'm monitoring through Mackie HR824 monitors, so I can definitely hear a decent amount of disparity there. Now I'll just toggle between the Neural DSP and the STL Tones plugin. So again, there's a bit of a difference between the two there, but obviously the biggest difference, and this is where the issue lies, is the fact that it's very different in the Boss GX100. So this is the direct signal, and I'll toggle between it and the STL Tones plugin. Here we go. So yeah, there's definitely a difference there. And look, as I said earlier, I'm not necessarily suggesting that it's a bad difference. There's nothing that you couldn't EQ, and to be honest, I'm using the GX100 live, and you know, I'm quite satisfied with the sounds that I'm getting from it. It sounds pretty good for me. But where I do feel the issue is when you're utilizing multiple multi-effects and you're using the same third-party impulse responses, and if you can't trust that the sound of the impulse response is accurate between the units, it's hard to match tones or whatever. So if there's anyone from Boss or the Roland Corporation that see this video by chance, you can see there's definitely an issue there. Apparently the issue doesn't cross the other Boss guitar multi-effects units. Apparently it seems to be limited to the GX100. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the other units to be able to check the difference, but you can definitely test by loading it into an impulse response loader in a DAW, and you can definitely hear there's a definite difference there. If you found this interesting, I'd appreciate it if you took a moment to like and subscribe. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.